Matthew Shmulevitz, also known as DJ Zab of the NYC Metal Scene Show on Metal Messiah Radio. Also owner of NYC Metal Scene, Boston Metal Scene, and Philly Metal Scene. And I'm here with Ed, owner of Armageddon Productions. Ed, what is good, brother? And let me just say this, Ed Farshtey is a longtime music promoter, metal promoter, in the New York City tri-state area for many years. Let's just say that, brother. We'll keep him. Do you want to give an estimate on that?
Yeah, sure. A few years. I'm still in diapers. Yeah, pretty much. I'm celebrating 40 years right now being involved in the underground.
40 years.
Back in '83, I started writing the bands, started trading demos, and just went from there. Did a fanzine in the '80s, the Book of Armageddon. Did Rage Records in the early '90s. 7-inch label and distribution. Did a bunch of other things, started booking a few shows, worked at Roadrunner Records from 90 to 92 during the death metal days. Then started working at Wendigo Productions in 2010, and been booking all the best metal shows for the last 15 years in New York City. All underground shit, all the best shit. Stuff I loved and grew up with. So it's an honor.
Wow, that's quite a resume, brother. Damn.
Yeah, I've been around a few years. I'm an old motherfucker.
Jeez. And let me say this, and I'm just going to say it. You had Possessed come in about a month ago, and that show was amazing. It was packed. It was at the Brooklyn Meadows, and it was elbow to asshole in there, and you had NYC Metal Scene covering it.
No, and that was an absolutely amazing night. One of the best shows I've done in years. We've had that show going since before COVID. Originally, it was Possessed and Pestilence. We had like 400 tickets sold out. It was an amazing show. COVID hit. Everything was destroyed. So 3.5 years later, we got Possessed back here, and it was absolutely amazing night. Phenomenal night in every way. It
really was, man, and everyone had such a great time, and you could see the footage. It's up on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, Matt videotaped the whole night for
me.
Just
type in Possessed and NYC Metal Scene and Armageddon Productions, all those three key phrases, key terms, and you'll find it. So that's one of your that's what I'm saying, man. You've been doing shows for so long, and this was a really successful show that you just did, like literally a month ago.
Yep.
And so you got some killer shows coming up as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I mean, I'm not doing as many shows now. I want to enjoy myself. Shows are very stressful, very expensive, a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's been phenomenal, but I want to enjoy myself now. So I'm doing select shows. The shows I got coming up right now are False Prophet, my brothers from North Carolina, that I put out the 7-inch in 1994. Artillery, one of my all-time favorite bands. That I did their second U.S. show ever at a festival at St. Vitus and booked all the New York shows. And then I'm doing a Halloween show. It's going to be a Halloween-themed show with a few cover bands. And the main band is doing a trick-or-treat movie soundtrack from start to finish. So it's going to be a fun night. So I'm just doing shows to have a good time right now and enjoy myself. And I got something really big scheduled for next year that can't talk about for a while now, but it'll be nice.
Nice, man. Yeah, and the Artillery show and the False Prophet, I already got those listed on NYC Metal Scene. Let me know about the Halloween show. I'll get that up there listed for you as well.
As soon as we book everybody else, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So, Ed, man, let's talk a little bit about the scene in New York City throughout the years. Because for me, like, look, the 90s, I don't want to call it the golden age, because nowadays, I mean, well, the teens, like, from like 2012, like it really started jumping back off again, like around 2012, 2014, it really started coming back. For you guys, did it seem like in the aughts, like the early 2000s, like things started going away a little bit? I mean,
yeah, pretty much. Music comes in trends, and it's always been like that.
Yeah.
So the 80s were phenomenal. By the early 90s, thrash was dead, death metal was on top.
Right, death
metal was amazing for a while, and it's got totally saturated.
Yeah.
So by like 96, there was just too many death metal bands. Everyone sounded the same. That's when black metal came in exactly. And personally, that's when I got married, so I kind of took like a 4-year hiatus.
I got you.
Didn't miss a hell of a lot, except for like some local black metal and death metal bands.
Yeah.
I was still doing it. So by like 99, 2000, it started coming back around.
Yes.
Sodom, Venom,
right, yeah,
Exodus
it started coming back around again.
And kind of a resurgence happened, and it was really cool. That lasted for a while, died out again. And by like 2000, 2012, yes, it started picking up big time.
Yeah.
The internet was full force.
Right.
So young kids had discovered all these amazing bands that I didn't think anyone ever heard of 25 years ago.
Dude,
it's phenomenal.
It's amazing. It's really interesting you say that, because like thanks to the internet, for all of its annoying properties, it really has some really good properties about spreading. Well, if people want to actually reach real information in science, it's good for that.
We did the 2 live streams.
Right,
the second live stream. How many people do I have? That was like 1,300 people watching it.
Right.
Ireland and all over the place. How could you do that?
Right.
No, not at all.
It's like there's some bands that I knew of in the when I was a teenager in the late 80s, early 90s that I didn't really have a chance to hear too often because I mean there's only so many things I could buy, you know.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm trying to think of an example.
I'll give you a perfect example, personal experience. The band Morbid Saint from Wisconsin.
Morbid Saints.
I love them to death. I saw them at the second Milwaukee Metal Fest in 1989. They had just started. Worshipped them. Fantastic band.
Right.
Thrash died. They broke up. Done. 20 years later, they reunited. I reached out to them. I got to bring in to New York. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I expected 50 people there. Sold out St. Vitus.
Wow.
Because of the internet, because of the younger
internet.
generation.
There you go. Exactly,
and
man.
And Toxic sold out the first show.
Right.
All these old bands.
I interviewed, yeah.
The young kids, they do discover the early bands.
They do discover, exactly.
The good bands.
That's a great example.
You bringing Hobbs Angel of Death over here. I mean, you know, we played the show with them and, you know, became good friends. I mean, that's...
I had Hobbs over here for 6 weeks. Hit every corner of the country. It was phenomenal.
Right. Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Man.
So, yeah, those were good times. Now it's not as great. You know, there's more trends. The 90s are coming back. But there's still the diehards.
Here's something I would like to
This is the problem with metal nowadays.
Okay, hang on. Grigori's looking at something on his phone. Hang on a second. That's the founder of Teloch Vovin there, in case you want to listen to the other interview.
That's the problem with the metal scene nowadays.
Wait, yeah, go ahead.
It's a black metal show.
It's a what?
With like a big balloon or something in the middle.
It's fucking hailstorm. It's fucking rubber ducks from the That's the problem with metal nowadays.
Yeah. So we'll stick to the early bands as long as we can.
So here's a discussion I had with like some older bands, like older guys like ourselves as well. You know, like sometimes people are saying, "Oh, for crying out loud! I wish they'd put some music back on for crying out loud." There, as we're competing with some sort of talking interview in the background. Oh, it's the jukebox. It would be a lot worse. Yeah, I hear you. All right, so we're talking into the microphones here. So, all right. Well, what I wanted to talk about, which is so fucking annoying, but that's all right, man. I'm almost, why are they talking about King's X? I mean, they're a fine band and all, but fucking... All right, so what I wanted to talk about was... Okay, finally, the music's back on. Good. Fuck's sakes.
Oh, great, it's Metallica.
Okay. Look, so what I wanted to talk about was... And I'm keeping all this in the interview, man. I ain't fucking cutting anything out and stuff, because, that's amusing. So... Some people take the thing, oh, the scene was better in the 90s, it's just, but I will argue it's a little bit better nowadays because now you'll have shows you'll have like threat. Oh, thank you, someone heard me. Right, exactly. But what I like now is it's not like one genre of music for each show. Like you'll have Municipal Waste, which is like old school thrash, even though they're not like older school thrash. You'll have like, an Exodus playing with Obituary, playing with Agnostic Front.
Yeah, no, you got metal is metal, so you got to mix it
so that's
up,
what I'm saying. But back in like the late 80s, early 90s, like fuck, man, at Sundance, man, I remember getting into like, fights with gangs. Like there were certain skinhead gangs out there.
Well, yeah, back in the 80s, that was a big thing.
80s,
they always mixed the hardcore
90s.
bands.
And I was also and I became friends with some of them still in the early 90s. It was just so fucking stupid. So, but now it shows that yes, you're gonna have your asshole like running around doing karate chops in the pit, but it's not like
violence to the crybabies.
But my point is, you're not really having gangs, at least here in New York City. Like,
no, you're not. No, it's definitely not like that. What it
which
is
I
now
think,
is
and it's more like I said. You'll get a mixture of music. You'll get like an Ensiferum playing with fucking Creator or something like that.
You have to do that. I mean, that's one of the things I don't really do at my shows. Mix like the newer bands and the older bands.
Right. Yeah.
because I'm thick-skulled. I just want to see book bands that I like.
Yeah.
But
well, there you
pretty
go.
much have to do that for a successful show.
That's true.
Book a new band, book an old band.
Old band, right.
Because there's old fucks, there ain't that many of us
Yeah.
to fill a stadium. You got to get the new kids.
Right,
you
yeah.
gotta get the new crowd, you gotta,
But I'm not even talking about that, quote, new NU metal, which started in the early 2000s, which I had real beef with then because it was still Cerebral Hemorrhage days for me, and I was like, well, this sucks, man. I'm playing real fucking New York Slam, singing real New York Slam death metal, and this is the shit that's getting popular. But I look back now and I could appreciate it. You know, I mean, like the second with a Woodstock or the third Woodstock, one in '99. It was like Limp Bizkit and fucking. I mean, Korn.
That was a generation. It was all, you know.
Korn's a fine band, and look, God bless them, man. They're still putting out music. Look, am I playing it in my Challenger? No, but if it's on the radio on I don't even. What am I talking about? I don't even listen to radio. So right, exactly. What am I saying?
That's the last time I listened to the radio.
But we don't really have that new metal. That the example I brought up before with like Agnostic Front with let's say Cannibal Corpse, or you get like hardcore and death metal.
Dude, back in a few years ago, my old band was playing a show at was it Club Europa, and we played with Obituary and Marauder, and I was in the bathroom talking to a guy from Marauder.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and goes, "You guys are really good tonight." He goes,
Yeah.
"I don't know much black metal, death
Right,
metal, but
yeah,
I
right.
liked you guys." And I was like, "Yeah, no, you guys were good too."
Right.
He's like, "What unites us all?" And I looked at him and I said, "Probably Black Sabbath." And he pointed at me and goes, "Exactly. We're all here because of Black Sabbath."
Yeah. That's a
You
great.
know? Now, I might not like some of the bands, but there's bands that I don't like that I respect.
Right.
And and then there's bands
Hey,
I
Greg,
don't like. I'm like you. I don't like most things.
That's too. What's the word I'm looking for? Phrases. Damn, Deborah, I wish you were here with us. She's the professional writer. Two words to live by. Two phrases. Two words. What's the like?
If you wrote a riff, Tony Elby probably wrote it 20 years ago.
Right. Because you said something during the Teloch Vovin interview, and I was like, yeah, that's right. That's you said it perfectly. You phrased it perfectly. Two phrases tonight. You were on fire tonight, brother. Like, seriously, you're literally on fire. So what unites us all? I'm going to use that, and if I use it again on the air, I'm like, you know who told me that? My buddy Grigori from Teloch Vovin, the founder of Teloch Vovin. And I'll have to go back and when I'm.
It all starts with Black Sabbath.
It really does, man. It really.
Born Again's an awesome album. You don't like Born Again? Fuck
Born
you.
Again rules. Born Again
And
rules.
Tony Martin era rules too. You don't like it? Fuck you.
So that's what I.
Dio's better than Ozzy.
Oh boy, now he's done. Now he done it.
Well, at least he didn't have the mic.
Yeah. He's got.
Dio's better than Ozzy.
Hey, my buddy Jim Rutherford, man. I'll give you a shout out. Evil or Divine. I'll be filming you tomorrow. Well, no one's gonna know when this is,
I
but.
want to ask that some questions.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm giving you my
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Ed some questions now. All right, so most people don't know this, but pull out your Malevolent Creation album. Who's the first person thanked in it?
I am.
That's
I
the
have a
first time
long
I
history
remember reading it when it came out. I'm like, who the fuck is Ed Farshtey? And one of my best friends is who he is.
I mean, hell, I even booked in 1989. I booked Malevolent Creation and Suffocation at February's in Sundance on Long Island.
Oh my God.
There was about 12 people at both nights.
I think I was there. I was
And Jeff
number
Brown and
11.
Metal Mark and Ron were part of them.
So one thing I wanted to talk about, since we're trying to make what's been a shitty week a little bit better. Remember all the experiences, all the times we took bands out and drove them around? We should put a little bit of that down and tell them about that. 'Cause me and you have had some journeys together.
Oh, yeah, we certainly have. A few we can't really talk about, like Possessed.
Like the Possessed, but the first time they came back, really, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun for the first 2 days. And then it was a bit of a nightmare the last 2 days.
Well, somebody almost got killed that weekend, but we can't speak of that.
Almost.
You weren't there.
Exactly.
Well, Jeff Becerra stopped somebody from getting killed, so it was okay.
Okay.
Who's had a long history of almost getting killed. But we won't get into that.
There's some crazy stories too, man. I remember at the Roxy out in Long Island, like it was Morbid Angel. I think it must have been like 92, 93. I was still in my early 20s, very early 20s. I might have been 21. I got a lot of voice. Yeah. And I got a big yapper. And I remember, man, it was like 4 in the morning. That's
Johnny,
another thing I wanted to bring up, man. Shows were much later in the 80s and 90s, man.
Back in the day,
wouldn't fucking go on until fucking 2 in the morning.
Back in the day at Lemoore, the headliner wouldn't go on till at least 3 o'clock.
Right.
And we'd get out of there like 4:30. It would take 45 minutes to an hour to walk out of the place at the cattle crew.
Do you remember the Sabat show at North 6?
Vaguely.
From Japan, we played that show?
Yes.
I was supposed to be to work at 5:40 in the morning. Sabat got off at like 4:45.
Well, it was a Thomas Pascal show.
Yeah, I broke my foot at that show too.
That's the thing, man. Like that, so anyway, so what we did, there was
nowadays you can't do that.
There was an abandoned car in the parking lot out in Long Island, and we ended up like flipping it and torching it. It was like there was only like 5 or 6 of us, and it's like it wasn't near the building.
Wait, that was my car.
No, this thing, all the tires were shot and the windows were out. But that's the thing. Like Morbid Angel just finished playing at like 4 in the morning. And I mean, I'm so glad we brought that up. That's one of the big differences, man. Main band didn't go on until like 2:30 in the morning.
Look, the people in this country are completely different than.
Kept drinking, kept insane, packed the place. Made it night. Nowadays, the metal crowd is not there.
Too, man. Like, because we blow out of a place, drinking, like, we'd be able to handle. Like, we'd be driving around with a.
Shit, I remember sticking to the floors at Sundance.
Right.
My friend Andrew broke his leg at Cannibal Corpse with the bone sticking out of his leg, and he's begging the paramedics not to take him out until Cannibal Corpse is done playing. They're like, dude, your bone is sticking out of your leg. You're going to the hospital. He's trying to hold on to the railing. No, wait till they're done.
What the fuck? The Sundance slime. The Sundance slime. Like, I remember the stage diving for Exodus, Fabulous Disaster. I was still in high school. And that's another thing, man. I was in high school. I was still in high school, so I was still 17.
Well, you started what, Ed, in 83?
I started going to shows in 85. My first show was, first show I ever went to was Overkill. First show I ever went to was, as far as an underground show, was Overkill Nuclear Assault at Lemoore in late 84. And then I was Exodus, and then Slayer.
9 years old.
Nice.
Yeah, 84, I was 11 or 12, something like that. So, but my point is, like 89, like I had like this little thin, I had some facial hair going on, but I like at least I had like, I'm Polish and Italian, but I have like the Italian look, so a little bit. So as long as you look fucking like you had pubic hair, you're gonna get served at the bar, basically. You know what I'm saying? So like it was great, man. My first show I went to, I was 16. It was the Ramones at the Ritz in Manhattan, and they didn't ID me. Like they just
my first show was Judas Priest, Megadeth.
Yeah, right.
But I used to go to Lemoore in like 83 and they wouldn't let me in. They left on my IDs and I was like, let me in.
Shit, I hear ya. But yeah, Sundance, 89, man. Like, they didn't even check the ID. Fucking, they just.
The first show I ever went to was Judas Priest, Megadeth, and Testament on the Painkiller tour. At Nassau Coliseum. That was a good tour.
That's all right. So that's. Sorry. So the Ramones is my first club show I went to. I was 16. That was in Manhattan at the Ritz. What's everyone's first club show they went to? Because my first big like Nassau Coliseum, like a Coliseum show, big venue show was Rush for I think Hold Your Fire, like something like that. So and I remember seeing Metallica in '88 or '89 for the last the Justice for All. So let me ask you guys. First club show, and you said your first big show was Judas Priest.
I don't know what my first club show, but the one that I really remember was Sam Grave and Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, wait
a
minute.
Tour.
I went to a club show before Ramones. It was out in Long Island. It was in Northport. It was Dag Nasty. I remember my mother dropped us off, and so I was friends with some skaters and shit like that. And it was like a total like hardcore punk rock show. But I barely remember that, and I don't even know if you can call that as a show. But the first official club show, I guess, was right. So maybe that was it. But I barely, that or the Ramones and stuff. I was in 10th grade when that happened, so those were close together. So there you go. All right, so Ed, you.
Now, for me, my first show ever was.
You don't have as loud voice as I do.
First show I ever saw was Scorpions and Bon Jovi at Madison Square Garden. Second show was Judas Priest and Great White. The infamous night at Madison Square Garden when everybody ripped the seats up. I was there with my dad. And then I went to see Maiden 3 times at Radio City Music Hall. Then my first underground show was Overkill and Nuclear Assault, along with Bloodlust, Carnivore when it still wore fur, and Primal Scream at Lemoore. And then Exodus the night that Paul Bailoff was too sick or drunk and wasted to sing. The crowd sang that night. It was an amazing night. And then Slayer at Lemoore, and then
one of my favorite shows I ever went to was Dio was touring. My Dying Bride was touring with Dio, and they had an off night, so they played. I don't remember, someplace in New York City. And about 3/4 of the way through the show, some guy who looked like Johnny from Unleashed, but Jimmy Duff size, said, "Yo, you want to go up?" and picked me up and threw me up in the air, and the crowd went like this, and I went splat. I spent 3 months on crutches because I blew my knee out. By the time we got to the subway, my knee was like that big. They had to stick a needle in it, and it was still probably the best show I've ever seen, and I do it 100 times over.
Yeah, man, the first time I was stage diving, because I was don't worry, people can hear me, man. I'm looking at the levels right now, just me talking. Like I said, man, I got a big yapper. So just you holding the mic there, they're gonna hear me. The first time, all right, definitely like slamming. Because that Dag Nasty show, we were very young, so we were just kind of like in the back. Was at the Ramones, but the first time really stage diving, I think was at Lemoore's. I think it was either at Suicidal Tendencies or that or DRI at Lemoore's. Fucking for 4 of a Kind. That was the fucking show. That was the fucking show. That was it, man.
See, for us on Long Island, like doing bands back in the 90s, early 2000s, you gotta understand, like, it's all slam death metal. No offense to slam death metal. I'm friends with some of the bands, but a lot of the people in those bands, they literally hated us. I mean, we were booking shows, and they were calling the club trying to get us kicked off the shows we booked.
Oh, the show you
I mean, we used to brawl with them. I mean, we've literally had where they attacked bouncers at a club one time, and the head bouncer came up to us and said, Will from Mortician was there, and he's like, "Yo, that's the guy who got your boy. You got him." He blows a whistle, and all the security turned around, and they turned the lights on, and we literally just jumped them and beat the shit out of him in the club.
Now, who was that guy?
Well, see, we had a problem on Long Island with the slam bands. We were black metal, and they just hated us, and literally it was brawling at shows, and you know.
I was living in. I went to Rutgers in the '90s, and then when I moved back to Rutgers is in Central Jersey, New Brunswick, and then by '94, '95, I was living in Brooklyn and Queens my whole adult life, pretty much, and stuff like that.
That's one of the reasons why, like, Long Island for us is just. Nobody likes black metal. I mean, it's just, we are like a sore thumb that just sticks out. You know?
Long Island has always been very strange. Some of my best friends, some of my earliest friends are from Long Island, love metal. They're few and far between.
They won't come out of Suffolk County.
No, they won't. They will not come out. They will not come out. Nor will they even go to local shows sometimes. I'm sorry, that's Long Island. It's been like that since the 80s. Very weird. There's a handful of great people, but other than that.
But I went there before in 2019 to see Suffocation. It was weird.
Oh, no, you don't see Suffocation on Long Island, they're going to sell out the
You know
place.
the funny, you know the funny thing? For all the problems with the slam bands, the funny thing was Eternal Bleeding. We were cool with them. They were great. Suffocation guys were always cool. It was just some of the younger bands.
It's not the bands. It's the fans.
He's a little bit older and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's not the bands. Except maybe like the.
Well, they had stuff like FYS, like Fuck Your Scene, where they would literally go to a place their friends' bands were playing, and they would just destroy the bar.
That's what I was talking about. That's
And
what I was talking about, like in the late 80s, early 90s, with like the skinhead, the.
Well, this wasn't skinheads. They were trying to represent some of the Boston hardcore gangs, but mixed into death metal. And where are they now? They're bald, fat, hate their lives, hate their jobs, hate their wives, and probably don't listen to metal anymore. So fuck you too.
Oh, man, this is fucking classic, man.
So one of the other things I wanted to ask is, Why are you hosting this event?
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. You know why I'm hosting it? Because he's one of my best friends. And Teloch Vovin is a band that I've loved since they started. I don't know why, because I'm not a big black metal fan, but I really appreciate what they're doing, and I love their sound, and I booked a ton of fucking times, and so that's why I'm hosting it. And it's an excuse to come hang out at Duff's with good family.
You know, it's interesting you say that about black metal, because obviously in the 90s, I was in No Restraints, and it was like a mixture of, and I had Dave Wagner in there from Evoking, Phenogram, Chris Demidenkel, the drummer from a Bazagorath.
Bazagorath is amazing.
And
Agreed.
And several of it. So like we played like black and death metal, hardcore, and I was singing both styles, and that started in 91, and it sort of ended in 95 because they wanted to play black metal. I moved back to Brooklyn and was more into just like death metal. But the funny thing is, like nowadays, I really enjoy like ambient black and death metal, like my friends in Shroud of Bereavement up in.
That's a great band too. It's a great band.
I really enjoyed that, but at the time when I was living in Brooklyn and Queens, man, in the mid '90s until I moved back to Jersey City, until Deborah and I bought that place in Jersey City, I pretty much was just listening to like death metal, and I was listening to like some in the '90s like rap and like reggae, like stuff that's not like
NWO, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. So but now I'm like I really enjoy like a Teloch Vovin or like ambient, like blackened, like atmospheric black metal.
I've always liked atmospheric death metal. Like
See,
early
I don't
Nightfall,
think we
The
fit the
Gathering.
normal black metal mold. I mean, we don't
You don't
adhere
fit
to any
any mold.
rules.
No,
We
no.
don't fit. Yeah, but that's it. We don't fit any mold.
You can be ambient and atmospheric. You can be extreme. You can be fucking just
There's
like.
a band I just played called Depressed Mode, and
Depressed mode.
Depressed Mode.
That's cool.
Yeah. And really like atmospheric, death metal vocals, but like doomy and stuff like that. I never really used to listen to that. I'm trying to think what else fucking I just.
Part of the problem with a lot of the bands, especially black metal, they only listen to black metal, and they're just aping their influences.
Yeah.
We have Dark Throne. We don't need another Dark Throne.
Right,
Yeah, we need And there's some bands that just do it different, and like we've never tried to ape a
There's
band.
something you say. I mean, because everything has been done before. Because there was a time, like towards the end of the
I told you before, Tony Iommi wrote that riff 20 years ago.
Right, that's right. And so, like, if you guys remember, towards the end of the 2000s into 2010, you had like the Screamo, and like they were really trying to do something extreme, but no, it was like
No, it was horrible.
it was not listenable. So I mean, now you have bands like Enforced doing like cool old school thrash and stuff like that.
Right now, there's a lot of new bands coming out that really are doing old school thrash, old school.
Frozen Soul. Check out the band Frozen Soul. And look, I don't like a lot of the newer death metal bands like Blood Incantation. It's people rave about it. I'm like, this communist shit sucks. But Frozen Soul, they sound like Bolt Thrower. They got that Bolt Thrower feel. They're fucking great.
Death Metal Dave, who's a DJ on Metal Messiah Radio, down there in Florida and stuff. And their new album is great, man. I was just fucking listening.
Look, there's a lot of diamonds in the shit. You just got to pick through the shit to find it.
The youngsters, though. I just want to say that.
Well, that's it, yeah.
But that's my point. I mean, it's all been done. So if you're gonna put something out again, do it right and make sure you enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And
put your own spin on it, but certainly, show your.
Do you know what Richie Blackmore said? Richie Blackmore said multiple times. He'll tell you where he stole stuff from too.
Yeah.
You'll ask him about a song. He said, "I got that from this song. I got that from." He said, "The idea is we're all inspired by something.
right.
Take the inspiration and twist it and make it your own." Look, half the shit that people would.
Why can't Jimmy Page say that?
Half the shit that fucking people would listen from Teloch Vovin, they wouldn't know that when I used the knife on the guitar, you mentioned Jimmy Page with the knife on it. That's all Jimmy Page with the Ebo. That's where I got that from.
Everything has been done before.
Yeah.
You like the song "A Dirge to the Death of Life, Love, and Hope," where we go to the bass at the end and the bass leads it? That's from Sam Ailes' Macabre Operata.
Okay.
But I was inspired by the bass playing in the song. I wanted to do something different. That's what sets bands apart, not, well, I like Dark Throne, so we're going to sound like Dark Throne.
Right, yeah. Like even my vocal style. style. Like I was inspired by like Ian MacKaye, Henry Rollins, because I grew up listening. I got into death metal and thrash from the hardcore punk rock side. So that's the type of singing. That's why I'm very aggressive on stage. Now, when I sing down in Brazil, I'm gonna have to dial it back because I'm a little bit older. So that's why I got the head, the hair. So you know, let me tell you, here's a trick for all you youngsters out there. If you're ever running out of steam on stage, just hold, if you're not singing, hold the mic like this and just headbang. You're able to catch your breath like that. So
You're showing your age, Matt.
because I'm not up there fucking dancing the whole fucking song.
No.
6 songs and I'm done. But fuck, dude. Exactly. It's all fucking been done before. Just try to put your own spin
It's
on
about putting your own spin on it. It's about taking like into yourself and giving something different back, coloring it differently. We all have our influences. You're not going to get away from it.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck, man. So, all right, man. Anything else you want to talk about? Well, we got the.
Well, I've spoken enough on camera. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Matt.
Hey,
Thank you for hosting for us.
thank
And
you.
everybody's here tonight. Those who are not, fuck you.
It's going to be a great night. You're all missing a good time.
The split here. Let me. The
Now I
split.
think it's time for a drink.
All right. So, Grigori, Teloch. Yeah, you can just put that there. Grigori, Teloch Vovin, founder. At Farshtey, founder of Armageddon Productions. Been putting shows together since the beginning of metal in New York City, basically. I'm Matthew Shablevitz, also known as DJ Zab of the NYC Metal Scene Show on Metal Messiah Radio, also owner of NYC Metal Scene, Boston Metal Scene, Philly Metal Scene. Yo, man, stick around. We got Teloch Vovin, Viserion, split CD, record release listening party tonight here at Duff's in Brooklyn, 168 Marcy Avenue. What's good, everybody? Yeah! All right. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun, man. That's gonna be fun. Alright, lights going off. That's going.